podcast is brought to you by Society Art Villeray. This exclusive gallery features local and international artists showcasing their extraordinary artistic talents. This fine gallery may also serve as a venue for your special events. You can find them on Instagram and online at societyart.ca. Thank you, Society Art Villeray. And now we return you to your podcast.
Welcome back to Let's Talk It Out. I love Let's Talk It Out because we get to talk it out with so many interesting people and learn about so many interesting things that people probably didn't anticipate or even aware of. And the purpose of this podcast is to bring that awareness and to sort of give you a little bit of insight and shed some ideas as to things that might interest you. Maybe you would like to learn more about something, or maybe you would like to have more about a service or take on a service, or become a client to a service. So that being said, we do it all here.
Wow, that was extremely long.
It was, but it was important.
Extremely long-winded.
It's important, Vanny.
That was Lisa-like.
That's right. That's why people like me, and you're in the back.
How's it going? How's it going?
Very well. How are you?
We're always good. Always good.
Good. So we have a guest, but I'm not
excited.
going to reveal who the guest is yet, because we have to thank somebody who supports us and who supports our podcasts. And I'd like to give a huge shout out, if I had a megaphone, I would scream it. Thank you so much, Mr. David Dakotas, who is the municipal councillor for the district of St. Bruno. Highly dedicated, loves being around people, sociable, loves to help. And it is very, very important for him to know that, his community is being well taken care of. So he's out and about, he holds events. He held an event not too long ago at Parc Lausanne in Laval. And the whole purpose is to be in touch with the community and to help better the community. And he has a listening ear. You can always contact him. And he is on Facebook. He is on social media. Facebook under David Dakotas himself, and David Dakotas, his counselor page. So you can always reach out to him. I know I've met him in person as well. And he's very open-minded, easily approachable, and he does what he must do in order to make sure that the cities and the communities thrive. So thank you so much, Mr. Dakotas, for your lovely support. And now we're going to start our podcast. Now, this is a very interesting podcast, and the reason being is because it touches on certain topics, specific topics that you don't really think about, but they're very important. And I think there's no one better to speak on this topic than Mr. John Caoussias.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming, for inviting me.
Oh boy.
It's nice. It's nice to be on a podcast.
Yay!
This is my first one.
Wait. You should tell us that once we're done.
Yeah. We're not done with you yet. Yeah.
You might have a different idea.
I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So.
You're in good hands. We're good people. Vanny sometimes can get out a little bit eccentric, but other than that, I'm very normal.
Sometimes?
Exactly.
I work so hard to get us sometimes. Come on.
That's right. We can't scare everybody off, Vanny. Jeez. So that being said, we're going to be touching on a very important aspects and services and work that you do. And you are multi-talented. And
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
no? Are you being modest?
Just a couple of talents.
There you go.
I have a passion for what I do. So I've chosen a couple of things, and I've just focused on those.
Perfect. So let's start off with the first thing that you were passionate about. What was it? Why did you choose that path?
So my first love in my career was sports medicine. And how did I get into that? You would freak. A lot of high school students don't know what they want to do when they grow up, what studies they want to do in university. So when I was in school, my high school, it was Malcolm Campbell High School, which is now École Arménienne Surpagop.
Oh, yeah.
In 86, it changed. It was our last year, and then it became an Armenian school. So in grade 11, I was with my guidance counselor, and she said, so what do you want to do? Because we actually all had to take that course to see, so we can plan what courses we're going to take in college and university. And I said, I don't know. She goes, well, what do you like to do? I said, I like sports and I like helping people. And she goes, in what way do you like helping people? I said, Well, like if they're in pain, I don't want them to be in pain. I want them, I want them to be happy, thriving, She goes, I got the perfect thing for you, sports medicine.
Oh,
you're
nice.
helping people and you're helping athletes become better and better.
That's fantastic.
So I said, really? I haven't even heard of that field. And back then, it was a relatively new field. And she goes, look, there's a program at Concordia. It's the exercise science athletic therapy program. That's what you should go for. Take the courses in college to prepare you to get into that program. And then once you're there and you do your bachelor's, other doors may open. You may, decide to do something else, something parallel. But she goes, that's the route for you. And ironically, I did this test. It's called the Gauss test or something like that. And you check off things that you like and that you don't like. And it came out that I really like athletics and I like helping people. Oh. So there we go. That was my calling, and it's I love it. It's who I am. And there you go. There's like 20 years in sports medicine that I've done.
So how did you ever put it into practice at any point?
I did. So I graduated from Concordia, and actually one of the best years of my life, I would say, is my third year at Concordia University doing the sports medicine program. When you do a lot of the healthcare programs, you have to do a year of an internship before you graduate.
Nice.
So my internship was the head athletic therapist of the Concordia men's basketball team.
Oh, cool.
So I got to travel with the team everywhere they went. And that year, they traveled everywhere in Canada because the year before, they won the national championship in Canada.
Oh, beautiful.
The Concordia Stingers were national basketball champions. So every university wanted to play them. So let me tell you, like every 2 weeks, I was at the airport traveling with the team.
Oh, that's so neat. Oh, my God.
Like from Victoria, British Columbia to like Calgary, Winnipeg, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, I visited them all.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So what does it entail? Okay, you were part of a team. So what was, I wouldn't say an obligation, but what was your responsibility?
It's the total care of the athletes. So not only are we there on the bench when the team is playing, and we're the ones that rush out when an injury happens. So we assess the injury, we make sure it's not life-threatening, it's not anything serious. We stabilize the injury if it is, and we have to call an ambulance and transport them. If it's something minor, like an ankle sprain, we assess it as much as we can. We bring it to the bench. Obviously, they're out of the game for a time period. We'll bring them back into the dressing room. We'll assess them better. Often, if it's like a small sprain, we'll tape them up, and we're going to send them back in.
Oh, nice.
Provided they can, they can do their normal movements without much pain.
Okay.
So I'm an expert taper. So I can tape. I can tape an ankle.
Fanny, come here.
I should have brought a tape, to practice, Wrist sprains, knee sprains, finger sprains, a little technique. If someone sprains their finger, if your finger sprains completely and it twists, we actually tape it to the other finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
So it's called the buddy system. And the ligaments will heal over time. There's really not much you can do.
Wow.
So there's a lot of medicine or let's say health classes that are associated with that.
Oh my God. You know what we did at the university? We did anatomy on cadavers.
Oh my God. Ah.
So how did Concordia get cadavers? Well, some of them were donated to the university, but we also have people that no one claims the body.
Oh my God.
When they die, like you have homeless people, you have other people that, the body is not claimed. So the city takes it, they remove whatever they need to remove, and then you can donate it to science. So it actually goes to the universities. It goes to McGill.
Yeah.
It goes to Concordia. It goes to the French universities also. So they could either remove the skin, and then you can actually see all the muscles and all the ligaments and all the tendons.
Ooh.
That sounds great.
So they put a lot of formaldehyde. That's the chemical, the preservation agent.
Yes, everybody watched. What was that show? Breaking Bad. All the bodies they used to just burn them in formaldehyde.
Oh.
Yeah. And we got even tested on those cadavers. So our test was our professor put a pin in a certain tendon, and we had to know what that tendon was, where it went, from where did it go to where it went.
Wow.
So obviously, I'm an expert in anatomy on the human body.
Oh my God, that's intensive.
Because there's 434 muscles and 206 bones, so we had to know them all.
You still remember them all?
No, not all.
Well, it's hard because at a certain point you say like, how I only use 83, let's say.
That's right.
Because in sports, you're not gonna, your eyelid is not gonna fucking, or most of the time you won't.
Yeah. You actually, you know what? There's some muscles that are actively participating in the movement, but all the other ones are actually stabilizing you. They're contracting, but not moving. They're just holding you.
Yeah, oh, wow.
Oh.
So I need a lot more of those.
Yeah, you are a bit crooked.
So the Concordia program is actually one of the top programs in Canada in this. Actually, the field right now is the field is called kinesiology, which is the study of movement. So all the universities in Canada have a kinesiology program, and then you specialize in athletic therapy, sports medicine, and some of the other courses that we take are physiology, biomechanics, psychology, sports nutrition, sport and society, how does sports affect society, because sport has a big impact on society. And then rehabilitation, rehabilitation of upper body, lower body injuries. I took 3 emergency care classes because when I worked with football, football it's not an easy sport.
Yeah.
You can have some pretty bad injuries.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
concussions, I've dealt with a lot of concussions in my life. And you actually, what you read in the textbook is what you see in the patient in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
When you assess their eyes and you say, follow my finger, and the person cannot follow the finger, you know that optical nerve is damaged. So they need to be taken to the hospital, then do a CT scan, and figure out what's going on.
Do you, can you get hired from a professional sports team now, let's say, with the studies you did, or?
Now, no, but back then, because you literally need to be up to date on
Gotcha.
your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And my career has transformed a little bit.
Okay.
But I worked at the Canada Games.
Oh, wow.
So I was selected to go to the Canada Games as the head therapist of one of the teams.
Really cool.
And then from there, if you've done some of those national level games, Canada Games, Pan American,
Games, yeah.
then you get called on for the Olympics, higher notch.
Wow.
So I didn't get a chance, but a lot of my friends and colleagues from university, they were head therapists of the Olympic team.
Well, how do you get considered? Like, how is it?
Your past experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And a vote from, your vote of confidence from your colleagues. The doctors also, because the Canadian medical team has athletic therapists, physiotherapists, chiropractors, osteopaths. So it's the elite of that group
Yeah.
nice.
in Canada that gets selected to go, because look, you're taking care of our top athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So what's one thing, aside from wanting to help people, what is that one greatest achievement that you have done in the career as a sports therapist?
I don't know if I've done anything major. I've helped a lot of athletes along the line in the sense that they thought their injury was a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
And, they start crying in front of you. They said, oh my God, this is it. I'm never going to play football or hockey again or soccer. And you have to calm them down. You have to say, look, from my initial assessment, you have these ligaments injured, but we're going to rehabilitate you.
Okay.
That's what we studied in school. So we're going to, once the game is over, we're going to go get an X-ray, a CT scan, an MRI. We'll find out exactly what ligament tore, what tendons are torn or damaged, and then we're going to rehabilitate you. We're going to get you better. If you need surgery, the orthopedic surgeon is there to operate on you. And then guess what? Once he finishes the operation, you're going to come back to us and we're going to get you back. We're going to get you stronger. So it's giving that hope to athletes that their career is not over. Because athletes, that's what they want to do. They just want to play. They want to compete.
Yeah.
So if that dream is shattered, like, the person shatters too. So you have to keep them in the game.
So that's part where the psychology comes in.
That's where the psychology comes in.
And what was your biggest challenge in that field?
The challenge, interestingly enough, is because athletes want to play so much,
Yeah.
when they get an injury, especially a head injury, and you pull them out of the game, and they say, no, I'm fine, I'm good to go in. And I'm saying, John, you're not okay to go in, okay? You can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Your vision is not that good. Your heart rate is at 120 beats a minute, and it should be at rest right now because you've been sitting for 10 minutes. Your body has to relax. You're not ready to go in. So I don't know if you guys know, but in sports right now, they have this concussion protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
So if someone gets a bad concussion and they fail it, let's say, they're out for 7 days.
Okay.
Because what kills an athlete is that second impact that will happen in a short period of time after their initial concussion.
Oh, really?
Because the brain is damaged. It's hurting. It's inflamed. It needs to calm down. And it will. It just needs rest.
Okay.
So if it gets hit and it swells up, and then 3 days later you hit it again and it swells up again. Well, that pressure builds up, and then you can have neurological damage. And
Oh, that explains Mike Tyson.
Well,
Right?
explains there's
lot of people.
millions of sports.
Oh, that's it. Because it impacts your language, how
But
you speak, your motor.
It's good to know that we're advancing scientifically now.
I was
in the
about to say
sense
that sports medicine has advanced so much.
Well, we now know that, if it's in a short period of time, that's the issue most of the time. Obviously, you can't suffer 7, 8, 10 concussions.
That's right.
It starts to get dangerous.
Yeah.
Once you have one, you know that the second, third, and fourth are a lot easier to. It could be a ball that just hits you in the head.
And different people
It react differently.
react differently. So,
Yeah.
So there's some boxers that have had, many concussions and many hits to the head.
Yeah.
And they're fine at 80 years old, even though they had a 20-year boxing career.
Yeah.
And you have others that, one shot will knock them down and they'll never recover from it. So,
Yeah, it's true. Like one guy can get hit by a soccer ball. Actually, a sports commentator here, Tony Marinaro, he was watching his son's game and a soccer ball hit him.
Yeah.
And it caused a major concussion.
yeah.
No.
Just because he wasn't expecting it. So no brace, no nothing. Like you don't brace yourself. You don't, and then you think of like soccer players will head that ball 10 times in a game.
Yeah.
And the shot is a lot harder and no effect because, they're ready for it. They're hitting it at the right spot of their head.
That's right.
There's a lot of different things that can, but at least we're advancing. At least we're not allowing players to go, and I watch a lot of wrestling, which is sad, but I watch a lot of wrestling, and there's a lot of wrestlers that go crazy because these protocols weren't in place years ago.
Yeah.
A guy like Chris Benoit, if you know the story, I mean, he literally killed his wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
He wasn't that guy. Like all his friends said, but we traveled the world with him. He wasn't that guy. He lost his head. He had one too many of these, and
They become aggressive.
he just went crazy. And then he stayed in the same room for a week.
Yeah.
Like lost to life, and then he killed himself. But still, just to
poor
say,
thing.
yeah. But there's something wrong. That wasn't him. It was the amount of shots that he got. And I'm glad to see there's people like you that take it seriously
And there's all types of tests that we need to do. We got to be smart. Some of these athletes, remember, they want to go back and play, and they'll lie to you, But we have tests to show. So we'll have them on the bench, and we'll go to one of his good friends, and we'll ask him something that only that athlete knows, and then we'll go back to him and say, "Did you do this last week with this person? Did you go to this event? Okay, and where did you go while you were at this event? And what did you drink? What did you eat? Which restaurant?"
Yeah.
So if you can't answer that,
Okay, I see.
there's a thing called retrograde and antrograde amnesia. So there's stuff that happened before the hit that you should remember, and there's stuff that happened now. So if you had your concussion 5 minutes ago, you should know what my name is.
Yeah.
You should know if it's daylight or nighttime, what day we are, who's the opponent, who are we playing, and if you can't answer those questions, that brain has been damaged enough that it cannot recollect its thoughts.
And what happens at that point?
Well, you monitor them. There's really not much you can do right then and there. Most important thing for concussions, and this is for a lot of mothers and parents out there, if your kid has a concussion, if they have symptoms like your child complains of severe
My daughter.
pain in their head, headaches, get them to the hospital. Get them to the hospital because those doctors know. If there's no therapist on site, the other thing is you have to wake up the child every 2 hours at night. Why?
They didn't tell me that. Oh my
Because what
gosh.
happens is you can slip into a coma and not wake up. So that's why it's important to wake up the child and the brain starts working again, especially those first 24 hours.
They didn't tell me that. My daughter had a concussion in hockey. She played an all-girls team.
Okay.
And she was in midget. And she had a breakaway, and a girl came and smacked her. Like I've seen her legs just go into the air and spack right on the ice, and she was out. But she was out for 9 seconds.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Anytime you're out.
Yeah.
It's significant. In our books, if you lose consciousness, it's a severe concussion.
Yeah, so that the night when we got home, she said she was fine. She was fine, and then we got home, and then at 11:30 on that, Mom, I feel dizzy.
Yep.
I have a headache. I just grabbed her into the car, like there was no hesitation right away.
So you know what's happening there? The brain is starting to swell.
Well, now I'm scared. Like they didn't tell me that. Now I'm freaking.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
the doctor should have told you that. Even if they stabilize them at the hospital and they're, they'll do a CT scan and they won't see anything anything terribly wrong, that's it. You just monitor them, and usually everything is going to go away. You do balance tests. If they can't stand on one foot, they're off. You'll do other tests tests for the vision, smell.
Yeah.
You'll ask them to, smell vanilla. Does it smell like vanilla? Because their nerve for their nose, which is deep inside your brain, will not work. we actually have an acronym. So there's 12 cranial nerves. Mm-hmm. So in school we learn to touch and feel a girl's very soft hair. So all those.
He was getting excited. Where's this going? Damn it. It's hair, Vanny. Nothing else. It's hair.
So the first O is like the olfactory nerve, So it looks at the nose. Optic nerve, So it's just a way for us, and we had to go through a test for all those,
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I had no idea. So the doctor gave her, I guess, time off for 1 week.
That's right. There you go.
Only 1 week?
Only 1 week. This was the emergency doctor. And to me, I felt it a little bit strange. I said, but it can't be. And I was researching. You don't research online, but I researched. I Googled the thing. And they said, sometimes you're out longer. And I said, wait a second. So right away, I made an appointment with her pediatrician. She went in and the pediatrician said, you're out 1 month.
There you go.
1 month, no TV, no phone, but forget it, the phone. To get them away from the phone, it's like breaking them apart from,
My son literally like threw up at halftime. He went to the bathroom, he threw up, he came back and played the game and didn't remember that he played the game because his coaches didn't realize. He went up for a header, he got elbowed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he got major concussion, but he played the game.
See?
Is it safe? Because my daughter wanted to play too.
So that's why these athletes, we got to catch them because they suppress their symptoms because it's so important for them to go play. They'll go say like he vomited. Vomit is a big sign of a.
But he didn't remember going to vomit.
There you go.
He didn't remember anything after the hit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he didn't remember. What do you mean I played? I did not play. Like it was completely lost. And then the coach said, no, you played. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they took him off and
no, my daughter wanted to play too.
But the team, she's what, midget, would you say?
She was midget. Now forget it. I mean, it's years later.
They should have an athletic therapist on.
They do.
Okay.
They had a therapist at the time, and they had a first responder. So they had 2 people there.
Did they see the hit?
Yeah, of course they saw the hit.
Okay, because usually what happens is, there's no budget for all the medical staff on the team, right? So let's say the therapist was taping someone else's ankle and they weren't there. They expect the player to come to the therapist. Look, I just got hit. My head hurts, whatever. And then the therapist
no, that's me.
Okay.
Hey, start the game. That's me. That's me. Because, well, she got hit really hard. She was out for a 9 second. I counted.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, she's not getting up. She's not getting up. So then, you know how you have a tendency to get nervous. So then I got up and I started walking around the glass. Because I took first aid also, but I'm not a doctor, right?
Yeah.
But you already, the little tidbits like, okay, this is not good because they're passed out, right? So I was walking around the glass and I saw her. She was like completely side, eyes closed. And I said, okay, this is not good.
And she's not moving, which is the worst.
That scared me because I said, oh my God, okay, she's not moving. Did she break her neck? Did something happen? Like, is she breathing? Right? So you want to stay calm, but in the end, you're like, okay, it's 9 seconds. And then she started moving. And at that time, you have the coach coming out and her friends came out to see her.
That's right.
And then I know one of her friends, she's still friends now with this girl, not little anymore. And she just made eye contact with me like she's not, the heart stops, like my heart stopped.
Yeah.
And then she got up, she skated, and then she she had to skate off the ice. But normally you would have to put him on a stretcher.
That's right.
But she skated off but she was held, she was braced. And
when was this?
Oh my God.
Long time ago?
Midget is what, 14, 15.
How many years ago?
It would be 5, 6 years ago.
Normally the protocol now is if they're out, because
maybe more. She was at high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you'll notice when we go on the ice, we put our hand on their head to stabilize the head so it won't move.
Yeah.
And then we start assessing their neck.
Yeah.
We start assessing whatever we can because we got to see, is there a neck injury?
Yeah.
Because if there's a neck injury, you can't have the athlete get up.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it, if there's a displacement in one of the vertebrae, you're looking at paralysis. So you stabilize them, you put the collar on the board, straight to the hospital to do an x-ray to at least know that she doesn't have,
Oh my God.
That's why when you see us do all these tests where squeeze my hand, so we got to make sure that there's nerves. The nerves of the neck have not been affected. Can you lift your toes, lift your knee, bend your knee, and we resist to make sure that They have strength and contracture of some of the muscles that we need. We also palpate the back of the neck to see, do you have pain here? Do you have, we go all through all the vertebrae to see if they have any type of fracture.
Oh my God.
And if we're uncertain, board them.
Yeah.
Ooh, my God, that's definitely deadly. Well, deadly. I mean, that's definitely potent stuff.
But compared to, and I played as a child, and now, like, this is information that is, it's not new, but
Back then,
like, what the,
We didn't really,
like, we barely played, like, in the NHL, they had no helmets.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I remember.
helmets
No
started-
visor. No visor.
No
too.
helmet. The goalie had no
Yeah.
mask in the 60s.
Ooh.
It's only in the 60s.
No mask before?
No mask.
Jacques Plante did not have a mask?
Jacques Plante did not have a mask, no. Maybe Plante did, but before that, like Dryden in the 70s is when they started.
And what kind of mask was that? It was just
And
a
that's
flat mask.
It's a face mask. It's
Yeah.
it's not a helmet. Like,
That's so dangerous knowing now what we know.
And the notion back then was, like, when we were going to school, walk it off. You'll be fine. Walk it
yeah,
off.
walk
Oh,
it off.
yeah, that's
walk
it.
off.
Go out for 2 plays and
Yeah.
you'll be back in.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah.
You're our star wide receiver. So what does a kid do, especially a kid that's 13, 14, like he listens to his coach.
And you think sports has been played for the past 200 years, I don't know, like so long. How is it that it's only in the last 20, 30 years that we know these protocols? Like, what happened before that? In the 50s, 60s, how the hell did they not know this?
Remember we were saying before how medicine has evolved?
Yeah.
So these athletes that were 20, 30 years old back then, well, now they're 60 and 70, and they're coming up with severe arthritis, encephalitis,
Yeah.
CTE syndrome, which
Oh my
is a
God,
big
yeah.
one.
It's not good.
So
Yeah.
we're seeing what the ramifications are of all these hits
Oh my
when they
God.
were young. So now we're saying, whoa. So now the research is coming out, and the helmets are better, the pads are better, they're thicker. So
Yeah.
look, if you want to enjoy the football game, if you want to play football, you got to protect yourself.
Well, you had just mentioned that you worked in a football team.
Yeah.
Which football team?
The Concordia.
Oh, okay, so you did the basket. I thought you did basketball.
Basketball was for my last year.
Yeah.
But the year before,
Concordia.
you still had to practice, right? Whatever you learned in your theory in school, you practice it. So yeah, that's the best practice to have on the college football team.
Oh my God.
University football team. Tons of injuries.
I've got a question for you.
Imagine.
Okay.
What is the worst injury you've seen live?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Open fracture of the tibia.
Oh,
I've seen that on TV and it's,
snappo.
Yeah.
oh man, that's okay.
Through the skin.
With the skin, yeah. So what you do is unless the athlete is in severe pain, you can try and reposition it a little bit, but you literally just leave it as is. You brace around it, and you transport them to the hospital, and you have the trauma surgeon who's going to go in and put it back into its place.
He better be knocked out when they do that.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
They give them.
You're probably knocked out as it's now. You look at that
And
and
the
you're-
pain.
and you just your eyes roll. And you know what? Apparently, a break like that is not as bad as a small fracture pain wise. That's
No,
what
I would
heard.
think the femur, the largest bone, right, would be the worst pain.
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I thought.
Oh yeah, the femur is the worst, and it's the most dangerous because what happens is in your femur,
You have the artery, right?
Oh, yeah.
not only that, you have
yeah.
all your red blood cells.
Yeah.
Most of them get produced in the marrow, the bone marrow of the femur. So you'll have.
If you ever get a stab in the femur, you can lose blood very fast. You could die.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah, hardcore.
but it's very hard to break your femur because look what we have around there.
Yeah.
Tons of muscles.
I have fat. Never mind the muscle. It's all flat.
So God knew what he was doing. He protected the femur with lots of,
Yeah.
No,
You know,
but that's
I broke.
massive.
I broke my toe, and it sounds stupid, but I will never forget that pain. It was the most excruciating pain I have ever felt. It was a table that landed directly on my big toe.
yeah, I
But
remember
that
that.
pain
Oof.
was like what, and it was snapped in half, and it was like, fuck, did that hurt?
because we have millions of nerve endings in our hands and feet.
Ah, that's why.
That's why.
Because my friend broke his ankle and literally finished playing soccer. He finished the game. And then when he
could he
got home,
stand?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a hairline fracture. He kept
It was
playing.
probably the bone on the outside, the fibula.
It was the fibula, exactly.
So the fibula only supports 6% of your body weight. So you can technically get away, if you can handle the pain, you can technically get away with finishing the game. And
well, his foot, like he didn't take out the shoe.
Yeah.
He kept going,
Yeah.
and then
Well, as
he's
soon
in
as he
the
takes
car,
it off, it must have gone whoosh.
I was with him, and he's in the car. He's like, man, this is not a. He thought it was sprained. He goes, this is not a sprain, man. I don't know. I think it might be broken.
yeah.
Okay.
If you tap it like this,
Yeah.
what happens if there's a fracture is it vibrates, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if it vibrates, you'll feel the pain. You say, ouch. So that's the cardinal sign for a fracture. We tap on bone.
Wow.
And if it resonates,
Tap on bone where it's fractured?
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if your
great.
knuckle's fractured, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna make it worse by tapping it like this. But the pain will say, "Oh my God, I feel so much pain here."
Really?
A little tap like this, yeah, because it's broken.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So that's
So that's my sports medicine
that's
career.
the sports medicine, but you also touch on something very, very important as well, and it was disability management.
Yeah, so basically, I worked for like maybe 15, 20 years in sports medicine clinics. So not only was I working with teams, but then I worked in like Concordia Sports Medicine Clinic, Kinetech Sports Medicine Clinic. There's about 40 Kinetechs right now in the Montreal area.
Okay.
It's a sports medicine clinic. So we used to see, regular injuries, not from necessarily athletes.
Okay.
Like you would come, and, both of you would come to the clinic and like, I sprained my ankle the weekend. Can you take a look at it? A sprained ankle to an athlete or to a layperson is the same thing. We
Okay.
treat it the same way. We assess it, we see what's damaged, and we do the appropriate therapy. So I did 15 to 20 years of therapy in clinics. And then because I know how long the body takes to heal and I know about injuries and I did a lot of medical stuff, insurance companies started calling and they say, look, we need a disability claim manager to manage our medical
Look
claims.
at this. Look how it ties in.
Yeah, so you have like Sun Life, Manulife, all these have disability departments. So a company like, let's say Bombardier, they have employees that get injured and they're off work for 3 months.
My company, Canada Post.
Canada Post. There you go. And I actually worked for Canada Post for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So basically what we do is we manage the claim.
Yeah.
So if someone gets injured, we make sure we get all the medical information from the doctor, and then we advise them on where to go for treatments, for which clinic to go to. Then we get reports, and then we manage the claim itself until they're ready to come back to work.
Oh my God. So technically what you've done in university has led you on quite an extraordinary path from there to the disability management.
That's right.
Oh my God. And from there, you have another sort of a skill to add on to the tier here. So that is occupational.
Occupational health and safety. So basically companies right now, and this has evolved, like in the past, health and safety in a company was not a big thing. But now, as we're looking at preventing injuries in athletes, we're looking at preventing illnesses and injuries to employees of a company.
Yeah.
So if you look at a company like, let's just take the oil and gas sector, okay? When you have employees up in the oil rigs in Alberta, okay, and that's heavy labor, where they're putting all those big, they're not only digging into the ground, but, they're putting the pipelines and, there's bolts that are this big and they have to work on them, to fasten them together. They can get injured.
Oh, yeah, they do a lot.
Of course.
A lot, yeah.
So they do a lot.
People die in the oil
You
rig,
mentioned
yeah.
Canada Post, right?
Yeah.
So Canada Post, I mean, there are limits to how much a postman can walk in a day. His route has to be calculated because over a certain point, you're looking at overuse injuries of the legs. If you can't put 100 pounds on the guy, there's a limit.
35.
The bag's about 35 pounds, exactly. So the health and safety aspect of companies has come into play right now. So that's what I do. I work for a company called First On Site right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's a restoration company. So all these floods we had.
Oh, yes.
So we send our people out there with like dehumidifiers and workers to remove all the content that got damaged.
My company might have called your company. It's
there you
true,
go.
because I work in property management.
Okay.
So the buildings that we had in Saint Laurent
Yeah.
completely flooded.
Ville Saint Laurent got hit bad.
Yes, I knew.
Yeah.
The cars were like,
Yeah.
all you saw was like a little smidgen of the hood
Yeah.
in the parking lots. So we probably contacted you because one of our locals
Yeah.
was flooded twice.
Okay.
And the day of reopening, that's when we got that storm.
We actually had 2 events this year. We had one in July
Yeah.
and then the one in August right now, right? About a
Yeah.
month ago. So,
Yeah.
so I work for First On Site. So I manage the health and safety of this company for the Quebec region. So we have like 5 branches.
Okay.
So I make sure the employees that we send out to sites, whatever they do, because it could be like a large, complex site, the Olympic Stadium project.
Ooh.
So we have the Olympic Stadium project. We sent a lot of workers there to clean and decontaminate because there was a fire that was at the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So that's what I do. I make sure the employees that we send out They have all their PPE, personal protective equipment. The site that they go is safe for them to do their work. So I go around making sure that it's safe for them. So it's funny how I transitioned from sports medicine to disability to health and safety, but it all ties in because
You're helping people.
And my past experience helps me with my next experience.
Exactly, and we're going to touch on that soon. So out of the 3 experiences that you've had in your life, which one is your top? Can you choose one?
My first one, my sports medicine.
Oh, I was going to say, for sure.
Yeah.
That brought you a lot
because you're up close with the athlete. Like right in front of you, you have an athlete, he's in pain, there's the psychology, and you have to get him better quick.
Yeah.
That's the other pressure we have as sports medicine professionals. You don't have a year to wait. The athlete doesn't have a year. You got to get this guy back in the game within 2 weeks, 1 month, whatever it takes.
Oh boy, that's heavy. That's a heavy load for you.
It's a lot of pressure on, to perform. So you got to be up to date on the latest rehab techniques.
Yeah.
A lot of the manual therapy techniques, a lot of the taping techniques.
Oh, nice. I can see. Have you ever met an athlete or a celebrity athlete?
Many. We used to do the tennis tournament that comes to the Jerry Park every year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Martina Navratilova.
She's awesome. She was awesome.
Hingis, Anna Kournikova.
She was awesome too.
Wow. No, she wasn't. She couldn't play tennis, but she looked
Anna
good.
Kournikova.
She looked good.
Whatever. Sorry.
She was a star of the.
You know what? She was the star of the tournament, just not on tennis.
She attracted,
It's true, though.
So some of those players. So tennis. Football, it's just the local football stars. I didn't have anyone big. I didn't get a chance to be the therapist of the Montreal Alouettes because everyone is vying for those jobs. So yeah, it's but it's okay. I mean, I enjoyed my career that I had with the amateurs, the amateur level athletes here in Montreal.
Awesome. So now we're going to touch upon something that's a complete departure from your experience in the occupational and to the medicine and your professional corner. So I know for a fact that you are Greek and you enjoy Greek films. So tell us more about that interest or that hobby that you sort of scooted on over to.
And that was something that just came like out of the blue. My second cousin in Greece makes films, and about 10 years ago, she hadn't come to Canada, and she goes, I'm gonna go see my cousins in Montreal and see what they're up to and whatever. So she came over, and we spent some time getting to know each other and what we're doing. And then she asked me, you guys have a big, vibrant Greek community here in Montreal. Like, you don't have a film festival to showcase your talents? I said, no. She goes, you should start one. I'll help you. So out of the blue, this thing, so we did it together. She helped me start it. I mean, she started it and I helped her.
Yeah.
And it just grew from like a weekend of 2 films and like maybe a couple hundred people coming to see it's grown to like such a huge event. This is going to be our 10th year now.
Holy cow.
And it's actually coming up. It's October 7th to the 20th. We have about 10 films. There's 4,000 people that attend the movies right now. And the top movies in Greece, we get them to play them here.
Oh, nice.
So like all the big budget films, now Greece is a small country. We don't make a lot of movies, but the 6 or 7 or 8 films that come out every year, we take them, we rent the cinemas out, and we have a wonderful event showcasing, Greek talent.
Yeah.
And our closing night event is actually at the Rialto,
beautiful.
which is a dinner and movie
Oh, I like
event.
that.
So people have dinner, and then they turn their chairs around, and they look at the big screen and they watch.
That's a great venue.
that's
It's a
great venue.
beautiful venue. Yeah, I've played there and it's fantastic.
And I remember my parents used to go to the Rialto in the 70s to watch movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same for the Italian community, but like every Sunday it used to be
We never left St. Leonard. We just stayed there.
We
and
stayed
that's
at
it.
home. We
No,
just
I'm
ate our
kidding.
pasta. Yeah.
I'm
We
just kidding.
ate. Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to start this project, and now it's become my hobby. Once a year, we have my team together, and we just pick our films, promote it, put it on social media, get people to come.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I just fast, because
Yeah.
we have a game.
Okay.
So we have a game which I'm going to send Vani the questions right now, but tell us a little bit more about what's here.
So if people want to come to the movies this year, they just need to go on either our website, social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't have the movies out there yet, but we're going to make the schedule. We're making it now as we speak. So save the date, so October 7th to the 20th. 2024. We're playing at different cineplexes in Montreal, wherever there's a big Greek community.
Sure.
So Ville Saint Laurent, actually the Ville Saint Laurent showings will be at the Guzzo Theater. And then the other ones are at the Cineplex Laval, South Shore, LaSalle, West Island.
Oh wow! So it's like pretty much out there.
Yeah, it's in the 5 big locations that a lot of the Greek population is.
I know Jean-Marie Laval is a huge Greek population.
So we're playing at the Cosmodome.
Oh my God!
At the Cineplex there. That's going to be our opening night.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Cool. That's
You're
really...
definitely going to attract a lot of Greeks there because that's the hub.
That's the hub. And we want to open up like this film festival to other ethnicities also.
Of course.
Because all the movies are subtitled in English. And it's just, international film is different than North American film.
Yeah.
There's fewer scenes. You actually get to spend more time in a scene and you feel like you're part of the movie.
Yeah.
Hollywood movies are they're fast paced.
Super fast paced, yeah.
It's action based.
Yeah. European films are a lot more slow paced. There's a lot more, I find there a lot more depth in the movie.
Like black and white movies.
Yeah.
Well, you can
See?
dig into the character better, right?
Yeah.
And it's not always keeping the eye, because that's the trick, is keeping the eye stimulated constantly. So scene, different angle of the same scene, but as long as the eye is stimulated. Whereas it's more story based probably.
Very story based, as opposed to, look, I mean, the American films are big budget, so they throw like $200 million to make a film. You can't do $200 million in Greece. The biggest cost for a film in Greece was Smyrna, My Beloved, which was 2 years ago, which was the destruction of the Greeks, the Greek territories in Smyrna in Turkey, and $15 million. That was the biggest budget
Wow.
film in Greece.
Holy Toledo.
Anyway.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful there too. From what I see in pictures.
Yeah,
I've never been, but I see it in pictures.
Greece and Italy are like,
So the game. So this is called rapid response.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Basically, I ask a question, name 3, whatever, and whatever comes to mind, you come up with.
There's no wrong answer?
There's no
No,
wrong
there's
answer.
no wrong answer. There's no
Okay.
wrong answer.
I'll start by asking Lisa the first one, so you get an idea.
Perfect.
And mind you, she wrote the question, so it's a lot easier for her.
No, it's not.
So Lisa, name 3 types of underwear.
Booty, thong, and G-string.
Okay. All right. I guess guys don't wear underwear. All right. All right, John. So name 3 things that are better wet. I don't know. She comes up with these questions.
Well, maybe we can start with the obvious. A woman, 1.
There you go. You see, I'm done with that.
Survey said, is that the number 1 answer? Better thing is wet. Oh my God, that's a trick question.
yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I know. Do you have an idea, Lisa, to help? Because
3 things that are better wet.
a woman is great. That's that works.
Yes, we
I'm
know.
trying to think food. I'm trying to think like.
Well, pasta, I guess. 'Cause
You
if
know,
it's
wet
not-
pasta.
Well-
That's sloppy.
Well, it's wet with sauce, I guess.
Feet in an ocean.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a weird question.
Yeah.
Hair.
No. All right, Lisa. Name 3 things you say when you are surprised.
Oh my God. Woo! Wow.
You say "wow" when you're surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow, I can't believe that happened. You know, that type
Oh
of
boy.
Hey, can I have the same question?
Name 3 things you say when you're surprised.
Holy crap.
What
thing. I
else?
was trying to be
WTF?
Yeah. You can say it too.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, Holy Toledo. I don't know. Depends how.
Ay caramba.
Ay caramba.
Some people get mad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, name 3 ways to make a good impression.
Smile. Number 1.
Yeah.
Dress appropriate for the occasion. Be respectful with the other person.
Beautiful.
100%. Lisa, name 3 things you say to a cute baby.
Coochie coo.
What the fuck?
You're so beautiful. And
Now name 3 things you say to an ugly baby.
that's unanimous. That's across the grid. There are no ugly babies, man. You're terrible.
Okay. John, see, she really wants to get you. Name 3 movies starring Johnny Depp.
Oh my God, and I'm doing a film festival too.
I know, that's why.
I should know
She
this.
put you under the radar there.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
Yeah?
Johnny Depp, come on.
Johnny Depp, I know.
Sure. Edward.
Scissorhands?
Caribbean.
Okay.
Edward Scissorhands was him, no?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Okay.
Caribbean.
The Caribbean?
Caribbean,
Okay.
for sure. Oh, the
Pirates
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates
okay.
of the Caribbean. And the other one, the mobster one, my favorite, Donnie Brasco.
Which one?
Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's best.
He was in
Best.
Transcendence. He was in The
Yes.
Tourist.
I've seen The Sopranos.
That's the
Yeah,
best.
that's
the best.
that's
best.
untouchable.
Untouchable.
There you go.
Gandolfino.
James was the best.
They don't make
man.
them like that.
No,
I
absolutely.
know. I know. That was a sad time.
Yeah.
So that concludes our podcast.
Where can we find you, John?
Yes,
where
let
do
us
people come
know.
and see what you're up to?
LinkedIn,
Okay.
my professional side. Like my name, obviously, on Facebook.
Okay.
So I have like a nice presence on Facebook. Just came from Greece like a month ago, so I have my pictures from Greece on there.
Beautiful.
You know, outings with friends, you know, whatever's happening in Montreal, you know, I like to go out there and take pictures and
Nice.
yeah, that's
Amazing.
basically it.
Instagram?
Instagram also.
Yeah. Yes.
Facebook is actually a bit more than Instagram.
Yeah.
Only because I'm not 22.
I was going to say, like everyone else, like all of us that are.
Our Facebook is strong still.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
You're supposed to
that's
speak at 22-year-old, they don't even have a
They don't even
Facebook
look at
account.
it.
It's
Yeah.
all Instagram, and I don't have a TikTok account, obviously. And,
Yeah.
Snapchat?
no, I don't have Snapchat. I'm too busy doing other things, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we try to live in the moment.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no. That's awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you
it
for
was
having me.
It was fun, informative.
Yeah.
And I hope all our viewers and all our followers had a great chance to understand what it is that you do and how amazing it is. And guys, just check out the podcast and stay in touch with John. Follow him to see exactly what else he does. And for the Greek Film Festival, not only for Greek people, but for everybody who would be interested in having just a splendid night out or week out. However,
And the best way for them to find out what's happening at the film festival, just like us on social media, and
Yeah.
they'll be able to get the updates, and they'll get the poster with all the movies, where they're playing, and all the movies are subtitled in English. And there's some really good movies coming this year from Greece.
so what page is it for the film festival?
So they just do a search, Montreal Greek Film Festival on Instagram, on Facebook. They'll land on the page, they'll like us, and then they'll be able to get all the updates.
Sweet. So there you go. It's that simple. So everybody better be there, or they should be there, because you're missing out on something great. So thank you so much, John. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Steph.
Lisa.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to you all. And we are now done. See you next time.